Welcome to the Bar Standards Board. Please choose from the following options. For the Bar Council Records Department, please press 1. For all other inquiries, please hold and you will be transferred to the first available operator. Thank you.
Good morning, Bar Standards Board.
Hello, good morning. Yes, I want to make a complaint about a barrister.
Sure, I'll put you through to complaints. One moment.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Rebecca speaking. How can I help?
Hello, good afternoon, Rebecca. I wanted to know how to make a complaint about a barrister. Can I make it verbally or does it have to be in writing?
Did the barrister act for you, or was it were you the client of the barrister?
It's a bit strange really because I was the client of the barrister.
Okay, what you would need to do is in the first instance you need to complain to the barrister's chambers.
I've done that.
Okay, and once you've received their response, if you're not happy with it, then you can go to the Office of the Legal Ombudsman.
Office of the Legal Ombudsman?
Yeah, and they'll be able to help you with your complaint, and they'll be able to they should be able to look into it depending on the time at which the
Just one second, I can hardly hear you. Can you speak up a bit, please?
They'll be able to look at the complaint hopefully depending on when the case was, because they have their own time limits.
They have the time limits?
Yeah.
What about yourselves?
We can't take the complaint, unfortunately, because the complaint is made about a barrister that acted for you. It has to go to the legal ombudsman.
Well, it's like I was a bit mystified there because he didn't act for me, but it was meant to be acting on my behalf.
That would still be a complaint that would need to go to the legal ombudsman, sir.
It would be, and still the time constraints
For the legal ombudsman.
what's the time constraint?
Just bear with me 1 second. I do believe it is 6 years from the date of the knowledge of the complaint, but don't quote me on that because you need to really check with.
Can you speak up a bit, please? I can hardly hear you.
Sorry, I said I believe it is 6 years from the date of knowledge. However, I'm not completely. sorry, I was given some different information. It's 6 years from the time on which you were aware of the complaint, I believe. But you would really need to check with the legal ombudsman, so don't quote me on that. I'm not completely familiar with their procedures, so you would need to speak to the legal ombudsman.
Yes. Only I've complained about barristers previously,
Okay.
and I was hoodwinked.
Okay.
You see, the thing is, I've complained about a barrister by the name of Alistair Munt,
Okay.
and it's transpired now that no legal aid was applied for. So obviously somebody must have been paying his fees. Somebody must have been paying to have me prosecuted.
Okay.
And this is it's the same type of situation. It's a barrister from Bankhouse Chambers, and sorry, the barristers was Alistair Munt and Kevin Jones. I made complaints.
What's the barrister's name, sorry?
Kevin Jones of Bankhouse Chambers and Alistair Munt
Yeah.
previously. Did I make a... I might not have made a complaint about Kevin Jones, but
There's nothing on our system.
I do believe... just one second.
Yeah, I've seen the one. What's your name, sir?
Martin Glasgow.
Yeah, I've seen the one on our system about Alistair Munt.
Yes. Well, it was factual.
Okay, but the complaint was dismissed.
Yeah, but why was it dismissed when obviously he was acting on somebody else's behalf and not my behalf? Because obviously if there's no legal aid applied for, then someone else must be directing him and not myself. He must have been taking directions from someone else.
I can't answer that, sir. I have no knowledge of the complaint. And you're referring to a case that was quite some time ago, according to our system.
Yes, that was 2007.
Yeah, so you're talking 8 years ago?
That's irrelevant really, because like I received a 12-month custodial sentence through him pretending to represent my interests, where he was taking a bribe to misrepresent me.
Okay, but the matter was dealt with by
crooks.
By the BSB, and the complaint was dismissed.
Why was it dismissed? Because it was truthful.
But sir, that was the decision of the decision makers at the time.
Who was it? You've got this information on your system?
Well, the information that was supplied to us originally as part of your complaint has been destroyed. I can't even find a copy of the letter here.
I think I need to take civil litigation out against your organisation, because there's evidence come forward that contradicts everything you've been saying.
But then if you have any evidence that you want us to consider, then you need to submit that to us.
Why would I?
Whether
I've submitted enough evidence previously. All I got was hogwash.
Sir, I honestly can't answer you. I have no knowledge of the case, and I'm struggling because the case file's been destroyed to get any information on
The
it.
paper file's been destroyed.
Yeah, the paper file's been destroyed.
The paper file's been destroyed and the case has been archived.
The case is archived and then destroyed in line with our procedures.
What procedures are those?
Well, we destroy files that are that are 6 years from.
6 years.
Yeah, it's data protection law.
Pardon?
It's data protection law, so that we can keep information for 6 years.
Data protection law.
Yeah, so for example, if you have a bank and you ask them for statements that go back 10 years, 9 times out of 10, that the information will not be available because you're only required to retain the information for 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, that's standard across.
Well, I think I'd better get on with my website then. Better get on with redeveloping my website, because I've got all the information. I retained everything.
Okay.
I don't destroy anything under any protection law. It's data protection, not data destruction law.
Okay, well,
Don't you have to get an order from a judge to destroy personal information? That's
no, it is the law, sir, that organisations who hold personal data can only retain it for 6 years.
for 6 years. But how do you destroy the electronic versions? They archived, aren't they, for disaster recovery? You make backups for system restore.
You're asking me very technical questions, which I'm not able to answer you. I do not work in the technical side of this. I can't provide you with answers on how our system stores the information.
So the people that was involved with making decisions, Adrian Turner for one,
Yep.
I had a long conversation with him
Yeah.
concerning criminal activity.
Okay.
When criminal activity comes to light, it doesn't matter when it comes to light, historical criminal activity, you can still be prosecuted for it. And his demeanour changed.
Hey, I don't know who you're referring to.
Adrian Turner.
Are you referring to Adrian Turner, or are you referring to the barrister?
I'm referring to Adrian Turner.
What criminal behaviour has Adrian Turner been involved in?
What's he been involved in?
Yeah.
Well, he's been telling me a pack of lies, hasn't he, really? Criminal activity. If you set out to deceive somebody, then it's got to be criminal activity. If you're making decisions and you know the wrong decisions and you're getting favours or money put in your back pocket for making them wrong decisions, then obviously it's a criminal offence.
Have you any evidence of this, sir? Because that's quite a serious allegation you're making.
Well, obviously somebody's been paying to have me prosecuted and have it covered up, haven't they? The people don't wait for nothing.
Sir, if you have any concerns, there's two things I can do for you. I can either take your number and ask that Mr. Turner gives you a call back, and you can speak to him yourself about your concerns.
Well, I've made a Freedom of Information request to the legal aid agency,
Okay.
and they've confirmed that they've got no certificates on their system containing my personal details
Okay.
from 2000, when the Data Protection Act, and that's 1998 Data Protection Act, and
Yep.
2000 the Freedom of Information Act.
Okay.
And I asked for from the year 2000, and they've got nothing on their system. So obviously somebody else has paid to have me prosecuted. They've been paying the courts, and they've been paying the lawyers, the solicitors and the barristers. Obviously, how else are they going to get paid if they don't get paid through legal aid?
I can't answer that, sir. I honestly don't know.
It's, well, obviously it tells you it there, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't at all, sir. You're making quite a broad and open statement that someone is paying someone to make a prosecution. And I'm not sure whether you're referring to who paid for the prosecution or who paid for the defence. If you're asking who paid for the prosecution, it's the state that paid for that. If you're asking who paid for the defence, I can't answer you that.
A court case cannot start without a person having legal aid.
Okay.
So for somebody to represent someone in a court case without legal aid, then obviously they must be getting paid by someone else.
Okay, but they were representing you.
No, they weren't representing me, otherwise they would apply for legal aid.
I'm sorry, please forgive me, but I'm really confused about what you're actually referring to. You mentioned previously in the conversation that you were a defendant in a case, and now I'm quite confused as to whether you're saying that your own barrister wasn't paid by legal aid.
That's correct, yes.
So then, you must have paid for it yourself then?
No, because I do believe the solicitor completed legal aid form.
Okay.
I was on benefits at the time.
Okay, so then if you're on benefits at the time and you're being prosecuted, I imagine then that legal aid would have been awarded.
Can't have been. They've got nothing on their system.
But so this case, from the looks of it, took place quite a long time ago. If the legal aid agencies don't have anything on their...
2007.
Okay.
Yes. 2007. And this other one is 2010. Now,
which one are you referring to, sir?
I'm referring to I'm going to the one at 2010 now with a barrister by the name of Tony Cranfield. Yes.
Okay.
Who works from Bankhouse Chambers in Sheffield. Yes. Now, I went to Foy Solicitors to start with, and I saw a person by the name of Dale Harris after an assistant. The assistant started taking my details for legal aid, and then this Dale Harris entered the room. She left the room, and he carried on taking my details to apply for legal aid.
Okay.
Right. Now, this Dale Harris didn't turn up. A barrister turned up, this Tony Cranfield, on the day of the hearing. Yes, of the trial. Yes. Now,
I'm really struggling to hear you, sir. Can you speak up a little bit?
This Tony Cranfield turned up on the day of the trial without me having any conference with him.
Okay.
Yes. Now, just one second. Just let me get to the point. Now, I was at Chesterfield Magistrates Court in a trial. Yes. It obviously wasn't a indictable offence, or otherwise it would have gone to the Crown Court. Yes. Are you still there?
I am still there.
Now, it wasn't an either way offence because I wasn't given the choice of it going to a Crown Court or decided to keep it at the Magistrates Court. Now, obviously, it was a summary offence.
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
A barrister doesn't work at a Magistrates Court on what would be a summary offence because of the pay scale to start with.
That's not true, sir. There's many barristers that are represent clients in the magistrates' court, especially more junior members of the bar. That's not true. There are barristers that do represent. It's not all solicitors that are in the magistrates, so I would have to disagree with you there.
On the summary offence.
Yeah, for some
And it turns out not to be a criminal offence at all anyway.
Yep, there are many barristers that will appear in a magistrate's court.
Without pay.
Sir, you're asking me to answer a question which I have no knowledge of. You know, you're asking how if the barrister got paid or not. I'm not about this situation.
Well, according to these law books I've got and the law course I've taken, barristers don't work in magistrates' court because of the pay scale to start with.
Okay.
So I think you've tried to mislead me there a bit.
I'm not trying to mislead you, sir. I am aware of, especially younger members of the bar, or junior members of the bar, appearing in magistrates' court. It's the start of how they get to work.
Well, Tony Cranfield's got about 20 odd years of experience as a barrister. He's not a junior barrister.
Okay, but so you're asking me to comment on something which I have no prior knowledge of. I don't know the individual circumstances of this, and I really can't give you an answer. I'm saying generally, barristers can and do appear in the magistrates' court. It's Not me intending to mislead you. I'm speaking from knowledge.
According to my understanding, a barrister only appears at magistrates' court on appeal to a Crown Court. That's the only time a barrister...
So if you want to research that further, then by all means. But I don't understand. I really am unclear where this is going in reference to your particular issues with Jenny Cranfield and Alistair Munt.
Well, I look at it like this old saying, give people enough rope and they'll hang themselves.
Okay.
So, I've got enough rope to keep dishing out to people. I've built a website now. And if you want the website address, it's www.nffp.co.uk. That stands for Not Fit for Purpose. And Tony Cranfield's on there, and I have a conversation I've had with staff at Bankhouse Chambers where they're telling me my complaint isn't on their system.
Okay.
And and the person that the head of the chambers that had left to become a judge actually must have taken it with him.
Okay.
So obviously that's illegal to start with. Criminal activity.
So if you've got concerns about criminal activity, have you reported this to the police?
Well, the police are no good.
Well then, you can bring a private prosecution if you choose to do so, but, you know, if it is criminal, if you're making allegations of criminal behaviour, criminal activity, your first port of call is always going to be the police.
Well, you know, you don't know much about the case, the second one, what I've been talking about. Well, I was charged without it going to the CPS. I was charged, and the person that accepted the charge wasn't a warranted police officer.
Okay.
And this Tony Cranfield involved himself in this situation, obviously willingly.
I don't know what you're wanting me to comment on, sir. I really don't.
Well, have a look on the...
Natalia Browning has already dealt with this case,
Who?
and it was dismissed.
Who?
Natalia Browning.
Natalia Browning?
Yeah.
Which case is that?
The 2010 case.
The 2010?
Cranfield.
Yeah, obviously there's more evidence come to light what I'm telling you about.
Okay, but what I think the best thing for you to do would be is if you have more evidence that you want to submit to us, put it in writing, and we'll consider whether or not there's...
You'll consider whether it's evidence or not.
Not me. It may not be me personally. It could be me. It could be one of the other assessment officers. It could be the assessment manager.
Well, it's obvious, like, you're not going to find in my favour, or else you would have done it previously, with the information I've already supplied.
Natalia Browning is my predecessor.
Natalia Browning is your predecessor?
Yeah. So you're talking about a case which I have no knowledge of, and I haven't had any involvement in whatsoever.
What's your position?
I'm an assessment officer.
You're an assessment officer? Well, I think you need to start assessing that Natalia Browning situation. We've already made the evidence I've put forward and what I've told you now.
Sir, I think it's more...
Would you like me to send you a copy of the email?
Of what email?
That I've received from the legal aid agency?
You can certainly send an email that you got from the legal aid agency, but it won't change anything, sir.
Well, you can actually download it off the internet. It's on my website. It's on every page.
Okay, but sir, if you're disagreeing with the dismissals that were made on your case against Tony Cranfield and Alistair Munt, you'll need to put it in writing to us and provide us with any new evidence that you might have to support why your complaint shouldn't be dismissed or should be investigated. And I'm not saying that...
So it wasn't investigated previously? It just made an excuse? Is that what your organisation does? Finds any excuse rather than addressing the situation?
Sir, there's a two-tier process. The first stage is the assessment, the initial assessment, where we will make an assessment of whether there's been, in your case, a potential breach of the Code of Conduct. If we do not think there's sufficient evidence, then we will dismiss the complaint. If we do think there's sufficient evidence to show that there's been a potential breach of the code of conduct, then we will refer it over to an investigation and hearing is deemed for them to conduct a full investigation.
Is the barrister's code of conduct same as the solicitor's code of conduct?
No, it will be different.
Is it different as in like
So I can't give you the minutiae of the details of the difference
to uphold the
conduct and the barrister's code of conduct? I'm not experienced with dealing with
to uphold the rule and of law and the proper administration of justice? That's it, isn't it, basically?
Well, there's a number of specific parts of the code. Details can be found, I believe, on our website of the 8th edition of the Code of Conduct.
Yes. So, in fact, let me just see if I can sort out this. I'll just get to my website. There we go. Inquire supplementary. In fact, if you go on my website, if you go to Howell's Solicitors, because I had a representation from Howell's Solicitors, and you go to page 2, and you go to a conversation I had with John Gibson.
So how is this relevant to the 2 cases that you've brought with us?
How was it relevant? Well, the first case, I actually dismissed Robert L. Bashforth and Co., and that automatically got rid of Alistair Munter at the same time. Yes?
Okay.
So what I did, because I dismissed them, I was given leave to find further legal representation for the sentencing. Yes? And I went to a firm called, I approached a number of firms, and I approached one in Rotherham by the name of Oxley and Coward. Yes?
Okay.
And I gave them written authority to represent me at the Derby Crown Court for the sentencing. And they was refused by the court. It's my decision who I have to represent me, not the court. And Oakley and Cowell was refused, and then I approached Howells in Sheffield, and they was allowed to represent me at the sentencing. And they contacted a barrister at Bankhouse Chambers by the name of Kevin Jones.
Okay, so I really think the best thing for you to do is, if you disagree with the dismissals in the 2007 and 2010 complaints that you brought to us, you need to put this in writing. I appreciate the time that you're taking to explain all of this over the telephone. However, I do feel that because of the level of detail that you're going into, you should really be putting this in writing to us for us to consider whether there's any merit in reconsidering the dismissal.
No, I don't think you're gonna. I think you're wasting. I'm going to be wasting my time. I may as well spend the time redeveloping my website and putting everything on the internet.
Okay, well that's your decision if you want to.
Because like,
developing your website.
why didn't your organisation do the job right in the first place?
Sir, I can't answer that. I can't answer this. If it's up to this individual assessment officer whether or not there's sufficient information to substantiate a breach of the code of conduct. Clearly, both assessment officers have said and thought that there isn't sufficient evidence to substantiate a breach of the code, and therefore the complaints were dismissed. I can't give you anything more than that, sir. That's not to say that there's a procedural failing in our organisation. If you feel that, then you can do so, and if you want to put in that in writing to us, you're more than welcome to. But I really can't give you anything anymore.
It's all to do with administration, isn't it?
Sir, you're asking me quite open-ended questions that I can't answer.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm leading up to something.
Okay, well, would you like to ask me the question that you're leading up to then?
Well, the question, it's not a question.
Okay.
What it is, I was given some names of people that were involved in having me prosecuted, clerks of court actually. Yes. I've researched them.
Right.
A clerk of court has to be legally trained, and I've at least 5 years experience as a solicitor or a barrister.
Okay.
Yes. Now, I researched these people's names on the Find a Solicitor website of the Law Society.
Okay.
Yes. And they don't appear to be legally qualified. I also went to the Bar Hub
Okay.
and put the names in the Bar Hub search facility.
Okay.
And they're not legally qualified.
Okay.
It's administration, isn't it? It's a group of people that know each other. And they've spread, it sounds to me like they're spread out in different areas.
So
And they
what
keep
you're
in
saying is
contact
it's a
with each other.
conspiracy.
Pardon?
What you're saying is it's a conspiracy to prosecute you.
Well, obviously, there's been 2 conspiracies, haven't there?
I can't, sir, I'm not going to comment on that. If you believe there's been a conspiracy, then you're well, rightly able to do so, but I'm not going to comment on that.
That's what I complained about. That's in my my complaints, previous complaints, because like obviously if somebody else had, if I've been prosecuted and I've made complaints to the police, I've made complaints to the CPS, I've made complaints to the Bar Council, Legal Complaint Service, Legal Ombudsman, I've made the complaints to all the people I could make complaints to, and they've all dismissed my complaint and said they can't find anything wrong and things like that. So obviously there's been a concerted effort to have me prosecuted, and obviously I've had no access to justice, have I? Because there's been no legal aid applied for.
Opinion, sir.
And
That's your opinion, sir, and I'm not going to comment on it.
it's on the internet, I'm on the website now.
Okay.
Not fit for purpose.
Okay, but that's your opinion, sir, and it's your right to express your views on that. You feel that you've been the victim of a conspiracy. As I've already explained, I'm not going to comment on it. I feel that we're beginning to go around in circles here. I think that the best thing that we can do in this situation is if you strongly believe that the decisions made by the previous assessment officers on both of your cases are incorrect, that you put this in writing to us, and it will be considered by a member of the assessment team.
I've done it all. It should have been done right in the first place, shouldn't it? I mean, like I've got to tell you the truth, every time I rung your place up, or any the place, the CPS, or anywhere, I record my conversations.
Are you recording this?
Oh, of course I am.
So you know that you haven't got my permission to record.
I don't need it. I'm sorry. What's your name again?
Permission. You do need my permission to record telephone conversation.
I don't think I do, because I'm not an organisation.
Sir, I think it's best that we end this conversation now.
Why? Have you told me some misleading information?
No, I haven't given you any misleading information, but I don't feel comfortable that you're recording our conversation without my permission. So I'm going to end this call now, and if you want to put anything in writing, you can. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.